Kelly Moore, the Director of Public Information for Horry County Government. Today we are holding a virtual briefing to update our community on continuing Horry County government operations in response to the impacts of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 within our community. Horry County Council Chairman Johnny Gardner will make remarks, and then Assistant County Administrator and Emergency Manager Randy Webster will answer questions at the end of this briefing. We will take a short break during this briefing to allow time for our media partners to ask questions. Media members are reminded to text your questions to Michaela Moskov in the Public Information Office. At this point, I will turn it over to Horry County Council Chairman Johnny Gardner.
Thank you, Kelly. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this brief COVID-19 pandemic update. I know this has been a trying time for everyone, and we appreciate your patience. We've asked everyone to exercise social distancing, and I believe that people are trying to do that, and I believe that that is saving lives. About a week ago or 10 days ago, we didn't really know much about what was happening, and we've learned a lot over the last few days and the time that we're meeting and working to face this problem that we have. When we first started, we basically had two schools of thought. We had one group that wanted us to drive on and keep business as usual. We had another group that wanted to shut everything down. And obviously both of those were not the right answer. We've moved both of those to the center, and maybe they will meet at some point and maybe they won't, but we do know that we're learning a lot, and we do know that Horry County government has to provide services to its citizens and residents. We have to do that while we're protecting everyone, and that's what we're doing on a daily basis here. I'm going to refer to some notes. I apologize for doing that, but I want to make sure that I don't leave anything out. Speaking of first responders, I'd like to thank them as well as everyone that's employed and everyone that takes a role in servicing the citizens. That's from our officers, our detention center employees, the firefighters, paramedics, doctors, nurses, everyone in the healthcare profession, down all the way through the food chain, including the people that are giving us food, our store clerks and grocery stores. On behalf of Horry County Council, we thank you for that. Horry County is at OPCON 2. We're meeting daily with the EOC. We're having conversations with the state EOC. We're moving forward. The facilities are closed to the general public, but we're getting things done, and we have places in place to make sure that the missions are getting accomplished. It's just a little bit different. Everybody's working hard to make sure that we can accomplish the mission. And again, Horry County Council thanks everybody for rolling up their sleeves and doing a little bit extra hard work. I'd also like to remind everybody that the treasurer, code enforcement, planning, zoning all have drive-through facilities to expedite things that are happening. Earlier last week, our libraries were closed. They're going to continue to be closed, but we have available an e-card. That's a virtual library card that will allow people access for live homework help, e-books, career and learning resources. I'm going to read a number for the people that want to call in. That's obviously area code 843, but 915-7323, or you can visit horrycounty.org for more details on the library's e-card system. That's another way of Horry County leading the way in these times of troubles. Again, I said that local government, we have to continue working. We have to balance out the safety to make sure that the services are provided, and that's what we're doing. Limited traffic will hopefully flatten the curve is the term that everybody's using, but at the same time getting everything done. It reminds me a little bit of something that happened to me this weekend. I was helping my mother clean out a storage unit and move some flower pots and things, and I was out there doing it, and I'm not the best in the world at doing that kind of work, but I had basically chaos all over the place moving, and the whole time I was moving there was a bird that kept flying back and forth into this one flower pot, and my mother came out there and said, "Stop what you're doing. That's a bird building a nest." So we left it alone. We left that whole area alone. But I got to thinking about that, and what that was a mama bird doing what she needed to do in the face of chaos, mainly me, but trying to protect and build for the future, protect life, build that nest, move forward, doing the things that she's doing. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what Horry County is doing. We're avoiding the chaos. We're trying to avoid spreading this virus, making it even more dangerous than it is. But we're getting the things done that we need to get done, and that's what Horry County does best. So, let's move on. That was just thoughts I had. There will be cancelings. That's always you can't avoid that. We'll cancel things. We'll postpone things. In that vein, I want to talk about Horry County Council. We will try to have our meetings. We have IT working on virtual meetings, and we anticipate that we will have our next county council meeting as scheduled based on the IT developments, but we will announce those details as they develop. So we'll keep you informed on that. If you have any questions, always you can go to our website. We are maintaining it daily, and it's always up to date. We have an emergency phone bank for the people that want to call in and have questions that they want to ask. That number is 915-5000, and the hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. Now, I've had a lot of calls from people wanting to know what they can do, and that's the typical Horry County way. What can I do? I'm here to help. I want to volunteer. We've been notified by the Red Cross that the blood drive is open for business, and they want to try to get things happening for that. If you would go to redcrossblood.org, they will let you know more about how you can do that. So I want to make sure I got it right, redcrossblood.org. Okay, we also know that with this closings and the shutdowns, there's going to be an economic effect. And I want the business community to know that Horry County Council is working on ways to help with those issues, and we will continue to work with that as we recover from this event. We look forward to that. So I want to, wrap it up and turn it over for questions in a little bit, but I'd like to say that I realize that this is a scary time. It's a scary time for all of us. I think we're all doing a great job of doing the best we can with it. We will follow the guidance that we've got from the state and federal levels, the experts, the doctors, the healthcare providers, the people that are giving us the advice. If we can follow that, meet somewhere in the middle, I think that we'll get through this safely and as best we can. What I'm going to do now is turn it over to our emergency director, and this is the time now for you to text in your questions. So we'll take a 2-minute break to get those questions together and give you the answers for them.
Hey, thank you. I'm Randy Webster, Assistant County Administrator, Public Safety and Emergency Management Director for the county. It's just a pleasure to be here today to give the opportunity to answer questions that are coming. I know a lot of folks are concerned about what's going on. We are too, and we all have the same issues in this together. All of our families are being impacted, all of our friends, all of our neighbors, and we really want to thank you once again for your cooperation and being willingness to help us all get through this. So, but I'm here to answer questions. So, question number one.
Our first question is from Ian Klein with WNBF News. He says, what are the plans to keep people healthy and not spreading COVID-19 in Horry County?
So what we're trying to encourage, and we hope everybody will take notice of, is the governor has asked for us to maintain social separation and to wash our hands and make sure we're doing all the hygiene things we need to do. And that's really the best thing we know right now, is to keep that virus at bay as best we can by not getting close together and spreading it. We ask that people continue to do that, and we just really are encouraging folks to do the measures we need to do to help get this virus under control.
Megan Miller with WBTW asks, did the county have to have any talks with track management to get them scaled back on plans?
So we were real happy to work with the Myrtle Beach Speedway in cooperation with them to, make the decision that was made, and we just appreciate that. Once again, just encouraging folks to continue to follow the guidance from the governor's office and to continue to do the things we need to do to help us as a community to get through this.
Heather Gale with WPDE says, what are big group gatherings at private businesses? What is the county doing to help make sure we're all being responsible?
So, understanding from the guidance that we've received from the executive orders from the governor, our law enforcement is out looking, and if we come across folks that are large crowds or on the beach or whatever, they're asking folks to separate. And so far, from my understanding, that's compliance has been 100%. People willing to do it. People know. Sometimes it's hard to forget that we need to maintain that separation as much as possible. So we continue to encourage that. And so far, I understand it's been very successful.
Chris Spiker with WBTW says, how does the EOC operate differently now than during an event like a hurricane? Are people working virtually, and how does that affect releasing updates to the public?
So our EOC is actually working virtually. It's the first time we've done that, and it is working very well. We still have excellent information flow working together with all the local municipalities, other agencies here in Horry County, as well as the state and federal agencies. We're maintaining a constant contact with them, passing along information and resource requests, and it's working very well. So fortunately in this event, we don't have to worry about, like you do in a hurricane, so many other activities that we need to monitor with evacuations and things like that, like you see there. So far I'm very pleased with how the EOC is working on a virtual basis.
Chris Spiker with WBTW asks, while DHEC doesn't necessarily say publicly where a COVID-19 case is beyond just Horry County, does DHEC tell emergency officials where those cases are in the county?
So right now, as it's been for the last week or so, DHEC does let us know when there is a case in Horry County. We're working with them to try to get better information and better flow with that process, but we do not know addresses. We do not know what area of the county the case may be in. What we do know, and when we get it from DHEC, is that the fact there is another case in Horry County, and that's the best information that we have at this time.
Chris Spiker with WBTW asks, what measures can the county take if there's a significant number of cases in a specific neighborhood, unincorporated community, or other area?
So just like the last question, we don't know exactly where those cases are. We've just asked that everybody just continue to be vigilant and work together, but keeping those same criteria we talked about before about social separation and good hygiene. That's the best answer right now, and unfortunately we just don't know where these other cases are.
Tyler Fleming with the Sun News asks, Charleston just announced a shelter in place. Will Horry County follow?
This time I don't see a need for us to do that here, but as these things continue to progress forward and we don't know how severe this could end up getting. I will not tell you that things may not change in the future, but right now I think we're pretty satisfied with what we're seeing within the community and how people are working towards and working together to address this outbreak.
Tyler Fleming with the Sun News also asks, will non-essential county employees be required to work from home soon?
We do have our leave modification policy in place, and folks, right now we're not requiring anybody to work from home. We do have folks that are doing that for different needs. We are very limited in our capability to be able to provide that on a widespread basis throughout all the county departments. But within the departments themselves, we are, continue to encourage the social separation, and we have to maintain critical services and all service levels within the county. And I'm very proud to say our employees are doing a great job making this adjustment. And, we take each one on a case-by-case basis to try to address everybody's needs as best we can. And I'm very, very proud of how well our employees are working through this.
Deuce Niven with Tabor-Loris Tribune asks, is Horry County suspending utility disconnections or stopping any other services during this time?
So Horry County Government does in no way oversees the activities of any of the utilities within Horry County, but each one of those can create their own policies. I understand some of those have gone into effect where they are suspending that type of activity, but I would encourage you, if you have specific questions for your utilities, to reach out to them directly, and that will definitely tell you what their current policy is.
Jessica Sonardo with WMBF asks, if someone tests positive after being transported by HCFR, are the staff members being notified? Will they continue to work?
What we understand from the DHEC process is if there is a positive case involved, their EPI team will come out and make contact with those that were in close contact with that patient. At that point in time, if it's one of our paramedics or EMTs or firefighters, law enforcement, or any of our employees, they would be contacted by DHEC and given instructions to do at that point. Then we would follow up with their needs in terms of making sure that they get the time from work that they need to and make sure they have the ability to get whatever it is they need to get back into service as soon as possible.
That's all of the questions at this time.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all very much. We appreciate the opportunity to do this, and thank you, Chairman, and thank you.